pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, and thank you everyone for coming. First item of business is approval of the October 16th minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved. Next up, approval of the bills list.
I move to pay the bill.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next
And then
up,
I will abstain. I will abstain.
okay.
That's fine.
See, public comments. Any comments from the public? That's a crowd and all. Not one of them.
Kind of a rough bunch tonight.
We have the old business, so next up is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approving repairs to the Echo Ridge lift station. Tell us the story.
Well, what was it, about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
About 2 weeks ago, the lift station went down again and started overflowing. So we had to go and bring emergency backup pumps, which is costing about $3,000 for a month to get it, keep it going. And it's gonna cost $4,334.57 to repair the pumps that's in there right now.
And are those the newer pumps that were supposed to be the better pumps?
No, this is still the old
The
one.
old.
Yeah.
What do we pay for one of the newer, better pumps?
Give me the prices on it.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we talked about those Echo Ridge pumps, we were trying to figure out, trying to get an expert to see if there's a better way instead of just playing catch up on these all the time. But I never heard back. Never heard back about that.
I
Because,
mean, we can keep using the pump we got right now, that was a better pump right now, and I can get, FTC to give us a quote on a better system.
Well, you're looking upwards of $100,000 if we're looking at a new system for that deal. Every bit of it.
That discussion.
well, I wanna see it on paper.
No, that's what I'm saying,
I'd like to see it.
we can keep the pump in, because, you know, we meant it for a month at a time, but.
Well, yeah, I just, I don't know, I don't wanna just sit here and say there's nothing we can do about it, just keep paying like putting out like what we're doing.
But what Mike suggested, he says $4,300 to fix the broken,
Yeah.
that we're paying $3,000 a month to rent, just go ahead and get that one fixed
Absolutely.
going, it's gonna break
Yeah.
again.
And I can have, like I said, I'm sure that, you know, they'd be glad to let you fit it, because I tell you, you know, the bad thing about these pumps is that, they got, vacuum pumps on to draw up the lift so they can start the pumps, start running, and sometimes those vacuum pumps break down all the time. They just, it's a poor setup, it really is.
So I don't think, we're certainly not in a position to have the system re-engineered at this time.
Yeah.
If we could get the old one fixed, be examining what we can do on a go forward, it might be better than what we're doing now. It seemed like when we looked at this before, it was like $40,000 for, I thought it was some German pump or something, but, you know, if it lasted longer, it might make sense.
Well, and then and maybe reduce the emergencies, you know.
Right.
You know, I mean, we haven't really done anything except just patch, replace. And I'm just, you know, it just seems like there ought to be a better way. Or at least some options.
Yeah.
And then we can choose to say, no, it's too expensive, or it's not.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, would give us a bid on it, you know, options.
Stuff wasn't made to run uphill.
And there are two pumps in it, right?
Yeah.
Is one working?
One's working, is one working with that?
They might, I think they threw another motor in there to make sure that the other pump did work. So I want to say both of them right now are working. My plan is, since they retrofitted those new pumps up there, we're supposed to be back in tip-top shape for how much that station can handle. For what it is, it's supposed to be back in ready shape. Now, I'm gonna call Ace Cleaning Services out next week, and we'll have them clean that wet well out, because a lot of that a lot of that is just gunk and stuff that builds up and it's gonna mess up the pumps. You're gonna have that anywhere. But at least we could, since we have a clean slate with our motors, we can get a clean slate inside the pit. Maybe help our chances out.
Is there a trap that's supposed to catch that stuff before it goes through the pumps?
So,
No. They're grinder pumps, right?
No.
They're not grinder?
No.
Yeah, there's gotta be a better system than
Yeah.
that.
But we can get it fixed, like I said, we can get it fixed now, and I can have FCC throw some codes together, a
Yeah.
better system, and bring it to you guys in the future, and just decide anything.
And is that clean out type thing, is that something we should do like every 6 months or more on a regular basis? Maybe it
Oh, it
helps.
wouldn't be bad to look at it probably twice a year. But we also need to be better about throwing stuff in there. Me and Bob have been talking, we're gonna try and get a big bulk storage of Dawn dish soap. And that is supposed to be the bee's knees to mess with all the grease that builds up in that pit. And I'm gonna try and on a weekly basis throwing dish soap in there to try and at least keep the grease buildup down. I mean, you can't ever stop it because people are throwing God knows what down their toilets. But that will help our situation out a little bit.
What's the turnaround time to get that pump fixed and brought back to us?
Did you know?
I think it was 2 weeks maybe.
So hopefully before the end of the month, we have done like 3 gangs.
Well, yeah, so it,
Sorry, well, we're running the pump, but yet those 2 pumps are working.
No,
No.
that just happened today.
Yeah, they
like
just got the
2
pumps.
hours ago maybe.
Okay,
Is when they just called me and let me know on that deal.
okay.
So is this the total bill, or is there another bill for this motor that we're
That
borrowing?
is the total. That is, that's what FTC sent over, right? Pretty sure that's what FTC sent over.
Because there's no motor on here or anything.
I'm not sure what they, now that I'm thinking about it, they might have taken that second motor off and I can find out for sure. But I know they told me, at least we know for a fact 100%, our first motor, the one that you guys are probably looking at on your sheets, that is taken care of. What the pump 2 side of it is now running and ready to go.
Yeah, that first part's already done.
Okay.
It's already paid. I mean, we haven't paid them yet.
No,
but it's already-
yeah.
They came out.
They did it at times, and they knew that we was in the situation,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
getting, got that pump fixed, and hoping that you guys approved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So some of this is already
Yeah.
gone.
It's been done.
Motion to approve?
Second. Or I should have waited for Ben to second them.
Yeah, it's already. No, wait, wait, yeah.
I was ready.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion has been made. Next up, discussion and consideration of possible action regarding a purchase of a pickup truck for public works.
Yeah, don't speak on.
I got a sheet, y'all want to pass?
I gave
out?
it to him.
Okay, you guys got one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just kind of a general idea of something that we're looking at. We don't know for sure. You know, we'd like to get it off an auction. Something a little cheaper, somebody that's already got it set up with a plow and a salter or just a flatbed. We had that old single cab Ford down there. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen that or not. It's a hump. It's sitting down there just collecting dust. That ought to be talked about getting rid of too, especially if we're gonna move into a new truck in the future. But we gotta have something to get our beet juice down, especially because that other Ford was set up primarily for our beet juice. Right now, we have nothing set up for it. We're gonna have to get something. Just a couple weeks ago, we had both of our trucks down, and me and Seth were using personal trucks to run around the city, and I mean, we just can't have that. We're gonna have to get something in. Having a third truck will help us out a ton, especially set up with the plow.
What's
uh,
the status of the 2 older trucks, the 2 tons?
The Ford, that is a problem after problem. I can tell you the problem with it right now is in the gear selector, but next week, if you start driving it, it's gonna be a new one. The wheel came off on Kyle just right before we parked it. It's been problem after problem. That's the status on that. We have that Ranger down there too. Not sure what the transmission's bad on it.
How did
But
the
it
wheels
just sits-
fall off?
That is a great question. I'm not enough mechanic to know, but I know,
Well, I am. I don't know how that happened.
I had
Without
zero idea.
somebody
Sorry, it didn't completely come off.
making it happen.
but it kicked off just like that.
You talking about that old Ford?
Yeah.
That old Ford goes back to 90.
It's still,
Well,
Unless,
think about it.
unless the lugs broke off, and I've never seen that, so.
I wasn't driving it, but I know that we need to upgrade something. We can't expect people to try to do a job on a vehicle that's 40 years old.
I agree. I just wanna make sure we're maintaining
I
them.
don't know.
Yeah. That one, actually, it came from the shop, and then as soon as they got it back from the shop, I mean, the same thing happened. Something wants to tell me it might have chewed up something on the lower control arm because it was cockeyed when it went up on the trailer. And that was the second time that happened in about a span of a week. So I can't tell you the specific on that, but I know it was pretty tore up, and we're gonna need something hopefully before winter time. So we have something for.
How are the Dodges?
Good, they're doing good. We got one back. We were having some transmission issues with it, shifting. It came back from certified transmission. It's all good. They looked through everything too. We're about set up for that. And I have another truck at Andy's shop right now with a salter and a plow on it. Just trying to get prepared before something happens. And he's sitting there looking over it, but the two Dodges are still good. They're still running just fine. Those are our main drivers between me and Seth.
And do we know, and I should have did it before we started the meeting, what the book value on this truck is on auction, the Ford?
These are two references. These are just something that, it's in our area of scope. That's what we're kind of looking for in a truck if we get a new one, something that's set up like this. But we'd like to keep it under 30 would be the plan.
You guys have an oil change program for
We have a sheet, but it's not like a program. It's when you get your oil change, you put it up on the sheet, you write your mileage down, and you keep track of that. But those Dodges have their own system inside and their own network where it'll tell you how your oil life and when you need to be changed, how many miles in between your changes. So it's got it on the system, and we've got some written down at the plant too. Not perfect. We need a better maintenance schedule, but it is something.
So what we're looking at is this truck here for lease Sunday. And the bid ends tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and we'd like to get, if you guys agree to it, I do not exceed amounts that we can put bids on it. It's close, like I said, it's got 86,000 miles, like I said, lease Sunday, it's got all the cloud spreader on it.
How do those funds work?
That's the challenge. I mean, if you looked at streets, it's got 80,000 right now. You could probably kind of sort of justify some public works and water sewer, but water sewer, I'm a little concerned until we get that wastewater treatment plant. We've got that loan money sitting in there that's inflating that account until we actually pay off the.
Well, that light system or whatever we okay for, remember, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah, that new,
UV system.
Yeah.
that we did, okay, the UV system or something, or something, new control board, something from down there.
Oh, yeah, that's down there at the strainer, the micro strainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've already paid for that.
No, no.
The controls.
So that balance that we have is not reflective of what we really have. I mean, I honestly
But that goes
think
down
we
to
could
straw
probably,
sewer.
I mean, we could go 20,000 on it.
more out of the water source.
And my very, very, very quick search showed that it could be worth around, somewhere around 40,000. But I
If you
didn't,
bought this thing new, it'd probably cost you 150 grand to set it like this.
yeah, it's because of the plow and the spreader. Yeah, I just was looking at the truck.
Right, and I think if you could buy it for 20 grand, you killed a bear.
Yeah, I could be comfortable going up to 20 on there, on the bid. Like we saw on that Bobcat. That thing goes crazy at the end, but
It's an interesting analogy. So that's an interesting analogy.
But you think it's going up to 30-ish?
I think 30 would get us probably above the 2015 range, we could go the route of buying a stock truck for 15 grand but I think it'll cost more in the end after we get everything set up for it. But I think, I've been seeing a lot of these on auctions, and they usually sit right around 23 to 27. 23
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
This 2019 right here, or 2017, I'm sorry, it'll probably end at about 25.
And I mean, I don't disagree that there's a need, but this month we were floating funds to cover payroll.
Yeah.
And so we start moving this around like that, there isn't gonna be anything there to float to cover payroll.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that this needs to happen today, it's just something that needs to get talked about, because we can't rely on 2 trucks forever.
Right. No, I think I'd be okay, throwing 20 at this and seeing if we, maybe we catch lightning.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
don't,
we'll knock out.
but.
I can look around for 20, see how far we
I
can
know.
get.
Chief had one on Odessa auction website, it sold yesterday, it was the same truck, it was an F-550, and it had 78,000 miles on it, and it came with a plow and a splitter, it was from the city of Blue Springs, and it sold for 95 yesterday.
That is
If I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to endorse 95.
No.
But I mean, again, I think, we can take a stab at it. If we catch it, we catch it. We don't,
Okay.
we don't. But we'll know, I mean, we can certainly start looking.
Yeah, we can, that'll at least give me a spot to look and see if we can't catch a stray that's coming across there for cheap. I just hate to be in a situation where we get a new truck and then it's in the shop immediately,
Right, no, and I mean, I saw that when they were plowing my street last year, and that the front end of the truck's up off the ground. and-
Oh, yeah, that'd be the single cab.
And it was, yeah, it was smoking, and it was.
It's seen better days, for sure.
I do appreciate that we need to do something, is to start planning our finances accordingly.
And it ain't gonna happen right now, just something that we need to get thinking about for sure in the near future.
Well, we wanna do it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, I like the bid on this one, just to see if we get it.
Yeah,
You,
we'll take a peek
you
on this
come
one.
with just a motion for $20,000 bid?
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed. So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, folks.
Next up, discussion, item is bill number 2509, ordinance number 1104, an ordinance amending section 700.5 holidays to change the hourly pay rate for employees on holidays.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Mayor. These are 2 ordinances. The first one here is dealing with holiday pay. We amended first of all, the personnel policy for Buckner employees is established by our municipal code. So anytime we want to make substantive changes to the personnel policy, we have to bring it to you as an ordinance. So just to explain that. Secondly, the changes here are just to kind of explain better or to delineate when employees get paid time and a half pay. And so this really, I believe, only applies to our police officers who would work over the midnight hour into the next day. But we want to make it real clear that if, for example, someone works a shift from 9 p.m. on December 24th to 5 a.m. on December 25th, the holiday pay would only kick in for the hours between midnight and 5 a.m. The hours worked from 9 p.m. to 11:59 p.m., those would be regular hourly pay. And so wanted to bring that to you here as an ordinance because we do need an ordinance to amend our personnel policy.
So that's what changed, is letter B, where it actually puts those times in there.
Yes, added that language, Yep, that whole for example part.
Yeah.
Starting there is where we've added language. And I believe the sentence before that, it says all employees will be paid time and a half only for hours of their shift worked on the actual holiday. That was added as well.
And then just general question, why do these ordinances not go on our website with the ordinances?
Should be.
They should be, and they can. We can ask our online code servicer. I don't know.
Because I assume this is the 1104th ordinance, is that why it's 1104? Is that where the number comes from?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's possible, yeah.
We only got 100, 200, 300, 400.
Well, no, but it's,
No, yes.
that's the ordinance number, but the section is quoted here. So the section was 300.
It's
700.
700.5,
But that's their 700.5 is water sewer.
700.5 is the section of the personnel manual that we're
Yeah,
amending.
that's what, it's not the ordinance.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
which is why I kind of made that comment, that this is
Yeah.
a little bit, it's unique to Buckner somewhat, that we have to amend by ordinance our employee personnel manual. I think it's good for our employees, that means we can't just do it on a whim, it has to be supported by the elected officials, but that's why, yes, it's not actually amending our online code, it's amending the personnel manual.
Yeah.
Which we have to do by ordinance.
But then, I guess my question is.
Sure.
Shouldn't the ordinances all be online?
No.
They are.
Yes.
No, these are, yeah, there's no ordinance setting up
But that's,
the,
the personnel manual's not online, correct?
I don't believe so, I don't.
but no, it's not, but there's no ordinance that's set up the, I'm sure at some point we passed an ordinance that set up the personnel policy. That's not online either, because I'm sure it's 954 or something.
Yeah, I'm happy to take a look at that.
Okay.
Every single ordinance that you all approve should be posted online. We pay someone a yearly
Yeah.
fee to maintain our code and do that, so if that's not happening, we'll take a look
Okay,
at that.
just
But
let me know.
They
It's
should
never
be.
marked as like new or something on the new website.
There's two, and there's
right?
one, yeah, there's one that we, and it says nothing after 2024 is on there.
So there's nothing in there that states that they get a certain amount of hours if they come in on,
No,
I mean, on another paper that would offset what you got there.
Oh, yeah. No, we did
Okay.
look at, there's nothing that would contradict
Okay.
this new language
All right.
here. This is just further explaining how and they would be paid if they did
Gotcha.
work half a shift on a holiday, half off.
I got it.
Motion approved.
I mean, you need to suspend the rules.
Yes, if we want to pass it tonight, you could pass it at your next meeting, but if you want to pass it tonight, we need a motion to suspend the rules and pass it to a second reading.
Motion to suspend.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Okay, we got the opposed.
Okay, so second reading then is an ordinance amending section 700.5 holidays to change the hourly pay rate for employees on holidays.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Frye.
Aye.
Alderman Ross.
Aye.
Alderman Lockhart.
Aye.
Alderman Leeds.
Yes.
Alderman Lewis.
You've called my name twice.
Yes.
I know. You look.
Jones.
Aye.
Sorry, about Alderman Jones.
Still aye.
And he seconded it.
And it's Friday, so.
They got a new batting order coming up.
I can start with you.
Yeah, I'm down if you want to.
Sure.
Bottom line.
So then the final number 4 tonight is an ordinance amending section 300.5, selection of applicants of the City of Buckner, Missouri personnel policy to allow department heads to determine which testing requirement to use for employee screenings. So the only change here is an inclusion of language that allows, it's actually the second sentence in that first paragraph. It says, the type of screening will be selected at the discretion of the applicant's department head. This change came after discussion with Joe regarding how and when, what would be the best drug screening to be used, or other type of screening, like you see here, physical agility test, driver's license checks. This additional language just allows department heads to determine what screening is best for the employees for their particular division. I can't tell you exactly which division or which department is that wants this discretion, but it is good to allow flexibility for department heads to be able to employ whatever screening tool they need. And again, since this is in our personnel policy, we need an ordinance to amend that section 300.5 of the personnel policy.
I had a question about it, just having some kind of objective criteria, like, because Chief was talking about some of these people had already been tested shortly before, and the cost is like, for those people that have already undergone the discretion for, like, say, the agility test, if you've already had that in the last 180 days, you don't have to do that again.
Yes.
Just something so that if I don't like you, I don't just put you through the grinder, and the one I like, I just let walk in. I don't know if it's, I may just be making more of it than.
No, but I think that this sentence could allow for that flexibility. If that's the goal, I would like to add additional language saying, or the department head may determine in their discretion that no further screening is necessary if they're satisfied with previous screening, something like that. If we wanted to pass that, we could make a motion to amend with that language and then suspend the rules. If it passes, then I can provide you all with additional language there If that's what we're trying to achieve to, like, let's say we have an officer who was just recently screened by another police department that we trust only 20 days earlier, and they come to us, we would need additional language for our department head to say, actually, I'm gonna determine you don't need any screening additionally, we trust this previous one.
I think where he was going also was that if we got a different chief at one time that wasn't quite discretionary, I guess I should say, and wanted to abuse that, can we have language in there that it can't be abused?
Yeah, so right now, with this language here, the department head would not be able to say, well, you don't get to do any screening. Because this language we added says, the type of screening will be selected at the discretion of the applicant's department head. That means that the department head will necessarily select some kind of screening. So right now, that language would not allow the department head to just say, I don't think you need anything else. If we're worried about future abuse by department heads basically just waiving the screening requirements, they can't do that now. I do agree with you that if we added some language like that what Mayor had suggested, that there could be a fear that future department heads that maybe we don't know or don't trust could try to use that to say, well, I've determined you took a drug test 8 years ago, I don't need to screen you. You know, obviously we wouldn't want that. So if we want to add that language or consider that language, I think what I would recommend is we pull the ordinance tonight, so that way I can go and draft more language. It's just never really successful to draft here while we're talking, more things end up breaking down the line and stuff. So if we do want us to explore that idea of being able to waive previous screenings or guard against that abuse, I'd recommend someone make a motion to table if that's what we want to do, and then I can bring it back at the next meeting in November.
It sounds simple and cut and dry, but, I always have gone to thinking that never tear down a fence, what to put up. And so, I just, but as far as what he's wanting to do and everything, I'm all for it. I just want to make sure that it protects the applicant down the road.
So, is there a motion to table?
Motion to table.
So
We do need a second and a vote on that.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I will plan on being back at the second meeting in November with new language here that we can pass then.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I had a question, I don't know if this is a forum, and tell me it's not. We'd had a sunshine request made earlier this week. I didn't know if there's any update on that or
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
some color around it.
I believe you all have met Caroline Taylor. She's our newest lawyer. She's a baby lawyer. She just took the bar, passed the bar, graduated from KU this whole year, might be like 26 years old. Anyway, she has been working on that request. What we did is we emailed Mr. Whitney back and said, hey, thank you for your request. We need an additional week or 2 weeks to get back to you. And that's because the Missouri Sunshine Law requires us to respond within 72 hours. And for cities, that's usually very difficult. That's not hard for the big agencies in Jeff City who just have a bunch of people that can answer those. So we wanted to take some time to evaluate the request. He requested a lot of things, and he requested a lot of things that are not open records in Missouri. And so whenever someone requests records that we know we have to keep closed, then that creates additional work as far as we have to create a log of what we are not producing essentially. So all that to say is it takes longer than 72 hours, but we did inform Mr. Whitney that there is a little bit of a delay on his response. So I can provide a further update on the 16th on the 20th when I'm here next.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chief, status on our patrol car? I think we
The adjuster was out today, and he's gonna write everything up. My guess is it'll be probably total, but he got into the frame, and it also, we don't know, the car shut itself off because all the fluids were out of it. So I don't know what condition the motor will be in, but they looked at it today, and he's supposed to get back to me soon. And on another subject for you, did you tell him about the combat? The check's supposed to be Friday
Okay,
for the combat funds.
that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
The other is I mentioned at the last meeting, and the current payoff on this building is $695,000. Our biannual payment is due in December. Right now, Fund 20 has got about $103,000 and then the payment's about 45,000. When I was just doing a rough amortization, if we were to pay an extra 40,000 over the life of the loan, it'd save us almost another 80,000 in interest. So, if we could think about that, about getting that on the agenda for the next, because we were required by the note to give a 30-day notice that we're going to make an extra payment. So that way we can give them notice before the end of the year that we're getting that payment made.
If I recall, didn't we discuss there was something else in that balance between the extra payment versus that money for something else?
Yeah, well, and I was looking at the language in there, it talked about, the interest, because the interest rate in 2027 will go up. But when I was looking at it, it's 70% of the 7-year treasury at that point in time, but it's capped at right at 4%. So the 395 is likely where it's going to end up, because there's a ceiling on the loan as well. The other choice would be, and that's my other question for Joe, was what's our current status on the wastewater treatment plant? How far are we from done?
Well, knock on wood, hopefully it'll be done by next week. They got all, it's, I would say 95% done. They, last I heard, I went down there yesterday, they finished up the rock layer and then wait for the sand layer. Once they get the sand layer in, then it's just as simple as planting the plants
And do we know about what the projected expenses that are remaining on that?
I'm sorry, what?
The remaining expenses outstanding, where we're at on the little architect's chart where this is what's gonna take to close this thing out?
I haven't looked at that yet.
Okay, because that would, the balance currently on the wastewater, or the water sewer is a little over 800,000, but I think that a good chunk of that is gonna go to paying off the last part of that construction.
Well, you know, some builders, there's a bill for $145,000 to construction company, and then we, on this bill list also, on the upper fund, there's another $135,000. So
Right, that'll zero
upper fund's
out.
gone now, which is good, because we had to get, it's
By the
spent
end of
before
the
the
year,
20th.
so, yeah.
So, they got a check for, both checks about 315,000. And the total bid project is 808,000, something like that. So,
So so there's probably about 100,000 in there that's discretionary if we need to do something on the pumps or move some around to cover the truck that we might be there, but we're probably about 30 days away, it sounds like, no answer to that. So, elected officials' comments, anyone? Yes?
I have not a comment, a question. Do we know how long it will take for the bridge is opened up here north side of town?
Well, when they first started that project a couple months ago, they put out a schedule, and they were supposed to be done by the beginning of December.
Well, I noticed that
Didn't they pull
there have
that?
been vehicles, their vehicles going back and forth across it, but I know it didn't have the side rails and so forth, but it looked like it might be.
I mean, right, I mean, even I talked to Jackson County guy, he said that, you know, it was a really aggressive schedule here, though they could make it or not, but it seems to be doing good now. I mean, I
And the
had
update, you said something that they may have to pull that date back.
Again, they're prepping to repave the Park Road, so I would not think they would get repaving anything until they, with the bridge was done.
It's supposed to be
That'd be a good
done
time.
first part of December when the original schedule was, so I'm expecting any time.
Okay.
I've got, just at the end of Park Street and Sibley Street, there's like a multiple band of choke holes that are pretty bad right there. I mean, they're not good at all.
Yeah, they've been that way for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, water trap, we never did fix that, where the water would go on down.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna keep getting worse when it freezes and everything, but there's at least 6, 7, or 8 of them all right there.
We're gonna have, I'm gonna pick a day next week, we're gonna get some potholes made up, because I had a complaint over there on Iowa Street, which Iowa Street is pretty rough, and I'll head over there, I'll make sure to get them done too.
Yeah.
Is there anything, any other complaints that you guys
That's a
have,
busy
potholes
street.
on us?
One on Vernon Street that we got.
Pardon?
for two further.
Have you, called county about the bridge with the whole?
Yeah, they got, I think they're getting ready to overlay it or something, because they got it grind down.
Okay.
They got a company that use concrete strategy to do something with.
124? Well, yeah, they're putting up all new construction signs from here to Timbuktu, so I
Yeah.
assume they're gonna repave the whole freaking thing.
There's another bridge coming to town, coming to the west, with the train tracks, it just popped over.
Gonna take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone. Stand adjourned.